Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Commander banned and restricted announcement from April 22nd. That is probably yesterday, I really hope. And the Commander Brackets beta update from also April 22nd, yesterday, I hope. My name is Howie.
I'm Levi. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're just this is a big
That's it.
one. Like I thought I thought that the big one was the last time with Dockside and Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So let's get into this. Okay. So let's start with the 5 unbans. They are Gifts Ungiven, Sway of the Stars, Braid's Cabal Minion, Coalition Victory, and Panoptic Mirror are all unbanned, effective yesterday. So we're just kind of doing a little rough draft. Like we're gonna go through these 2 articles. There's the banned and restricted announcement and the Commander Brackets beta. So Gifts Ungiven is 3 and a blue for an instant. It says search your library for up to 4 cards with different names and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand. Then shuffle. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It says this is a beloved card. Sorry. Go ahead. Say what you were gonna say.
What I was just gonna say, like, I mean, it kind of is just a instant speed 4 mana, grab everything you need for your combo.
4 different cards with different names.
Yeah, that's all this
it's a super
screams
combo
to me.
card.
It's
Yeah.
great.
You don't have to get combo-y stuff. Like you could be like, I want my Llanowar elves and my, I don't know, what's even fair magic these days.
Not deflecting SWAT. Spoilers. Well, I was kind of thinking this might be actually pretty good for CDH because of the other bands, Mana Crypt isn't there anymore.
I think it'll be good.
And then this will kind of shake things up a bit. They actually get to use this, and I don't know. It might affect things. I bet this will see some CDH play. Faux show.
It most likely will. I'm always having problems with my microphone. It says we considered this within the structure of brackets and just regular pregame conversations. If your deck is trying to infinite combo people with this, they should often help sort out if you are playing in the right environment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
God, it does make sense. On the other hand, a fair Gifts Ungiven is very fun and akin to fact or fiction in the politics and interplay between players it can create. The only issue I will have with this, if I see it across the table, is I really hope that they know what they're going to search for, because I don't want them to look at their whole deck 4 times. But these are the 4 cards I want. Like, please just grab them as you go.
Yeah, he just already should know.
You want to read the next one?
Yeah. This is one I'm not really excited for, but I also think I will probably see it once every blue star. Sway of the Stars. 8 blue sorcery. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then draws 7 cards. Each player's life total becomes 7. 10 mana restart.
Now, you haven't read these articles yet, right?
No, this is my live reaction to the article.
I think they do a great job explaining their reasoning with these things. A 10 mana way to reset the game akin to Worldfire, which was previously unbanned in Commander. Too little fanfare or play. There are some players who enjoy this effect. It is an impactful card, but not very powerful. There are plenty of other spells that cost 8 or more mana that have a far higher impact than Sway. And you said that already, like in you and me talking just earlier today.
Without even
Our guess is this will see little play, but the people who enjoy cards like this will now be able to play another one. I have never seen this card before today. Like, I've probably looked at it once in my life at least, but like this is just, it's not a good card, and I can't believe it was on the ban list. They must have thought it was unfun in the earlier days of Commander when, I don't know, games went longer and things were less focused.
Yeah, this is by far from bannable. I don't think this is bannable. I'm glad this got unbanned, but I also don't think we'll be seeing this much, if at all.
Yeah. So the next one, I don't have much to say about Sea of Sway of the Stars. It's mid, whatever.
Sea of the Sway of Stars.
Braids Cabal minion, 2 black for a legendary human minion, 2/2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices an artifact, creature, or land. So what are your thoughts on Braids?
Honestly, I was talking about this with some other fellow Magic players earlier, and I think this is going to get the Tergrid experience where it's going to have quite a reputation surrounding it, and it's going to only be like played at specific tables with specific people. I don't think you're going to see this as a commander very often at all. Her in the 99 could be pretty powerful in the right deck, that's for sure, though. But her in the command slot, I think it might get the Tergrid effect.
The thing is, if you don't play this card on turn 1, 2, or 3, I think it kind of sucks.
Oh, yeah. Late game, it's not even
like, if
that
you play
crazy.
this on turn 4 or later, like, I mean, there's worse things.
There's way more treasure.
There's like I don't think it's very impactful late game. But this is actually the one that I will have the most issues seeing, I think, across the table, if it's like turn 1 or 2, because it's pretty easy to, ramp these days, and especially in these colors, you could just like Dark Ritual, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, whatever, like super quick, turn 2. But like, yeah, I feel like if anybody resolves it after turn 3, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Unless like if you're having a really slow turn anyway, this will affect a slow deck for sure.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of what the article says. The most frustrating Braids games are when it's put out extremely quickly and people feel locked under it. I would scoop. And I don't scoop to anything. However, as little as a single removal spell can really set that entire plan back, as commander decks have become more efficient with more targeted removal, and players have gotten better at identifying commanders they don't want to play against and having pregame conversations. So that gives us the confidence to bring back Braids.
Yeah. I fully agree with that.
I do think it's a fine unban, and I think that I saw a lot of people overreact to this, but I agree with not wanting to see it put out extremely quickly, as Mr. Gavin Verhey has said here.
Yeah, early, this would really suck, but I doubt the rest of the table would be happy, and they'd probably try their best to get rid of it as best as they can.
Let's move on to
Coalition victory. 3 white, blue, black, red, green. You win the game if you control a land of each basic land type and a creature of each color. So, I mean, the absolute easiest win for this is a shock land and a tri land.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you got creature, 8 mana, you probably got more than one of each.
Yeah. I haven't even read this little excerpt here, but my immediate thoughts is it's something that is really, it's still really good, don't get me wrong, but it's still 8 mana. It's a lot. And there's lots of other cards that kind of also, they don't say they win the game, but like 8 mana, you kind of win the game anyway.
Expropriate's 8 mana, right?
Yeah, Expropriate is a good example of that.
Nobody has ever seen Expropriate resolve and not won the game.
Yeah. So
in the history of Magic. So to boil it down to what is being said here, it says, in a deck with a 5-color commander, which is the only deck you can play this in, it essentially reads, you win the game if you control your commander. That is not the most satisfying end to a game, and it does begin to become an auto-include for many decks. Is that an appropriate card to exist? That doesn't really sound like it's in favor, but then it goes on to say, a single removal spell in response to your 5-color commander means you spend 8 mana to do nothing. Yep. Because it checks if you control a creature of each color as it resolves. You also need to untap with your commander and 8 mana.
Yeah.
Additionally, for those engaging with commander brackets, it is within the time frame of where we expect an I win combo to fall. So, I don't have much to say here. It is a boring card. I don't really care for it, but I don't think it deserves to be banned. I think it's Mid.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. I don't even think many people are even gonna play this in their 5 colors. Like, at least people that have been playing the game for a while. I think this would be really attractive to a newer player for sure. They're gonna be like, "Whoa, my 5 color! I can just win!" And when they see that it's probably not gonna work out most of the time when they play with
I like how
experienced players.
your new player voice is like a child.
Yeah,
Some new players are in their 20s and 30s,
yeah,
bro.
they're adults, with big boy pants on. But I think that's just genuinely how it's gonna be. I do not see this card resolving very often. It's gonna get counterspelled. Their commander's gonna die. Something. So yeah,
Not good.
not good.
Panoptic Mirror. 5 mana for an artifact with Imprint X. And tap. You may remove an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost X in your hand from the game. That's crazy. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may copy an imprinted instant or sorcery and play the copy without paying its mana cost. So, the reason why this is like a big deal, people don't like the banned part, is that you can chain extra turns, infinite turns with this. If you put any extra turn spell under this, when you get to your upkeep, you win. Like, you're just going to take extra turns. If you can win with an Expropriate, with one extra turn and you stole 3 permanents or whatever combination of things happen, like, this is infinite turns. So you win. On the other hand, it's very slow, being 5 mana, and then like extra turn spells are typically, I don't know, what's the cheapest extra turn spell? It's like 4 mana, right? Or something, for like a really good one. I don't know what any of them are called because I don't play any of them.
Yeah, I
kind of hate extra turns. I know Expropriate because it's like a big splashy one, but
there's a 4 mana one, but I think that one has a stipulation to it too. So
I don't know. There's like at least like 4 or 5 mana. There's 5 mana ones
Still
like
expensive.
Karn's Temporal Sundering. I'm just pulling out all the names like I just said that I don't know any of the names.
Just
of them.
out of
I think
them.
that's 5. It's 5 or 6 mana, but you need a legendary permanent. Anyway,
so that's like 11 mana.
it's 11 mana, and then you have to wait
And then you
until
have to
your
wait.
upkeep, and it's an artifact, which is arguably the easiest
thing to
permanent
get rid of.
type to get rid of. Like, it's artifacts and creatures, like the easiest thing. So if you're playing this in a pod where it's expected to go infinite, I'm sure you could find a better way to do it than this. Therefore, I agree. I think it's totally fine to come off the ban list.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are ways to go infinite that are that are just simply easier than Panoptic Mirror now.
Way easier.
Way easier. Just bring this card back in. This is a fun card in my opinion. I look at this and I go, like, aside from the extra turns, I look at this and think, man, you could do some just funny things with this and just put some cool stuff. I think this is just a fun card to play. And that's the thing, is like, at 5 mana and also the cost of imprinting and the risk of it being stuck to this Panoptic Mirror, like, it's so easy to get removed.
Yeah, and then you're down a card.
It's not that good, to be honest.
I don't think it's good. Again, I think that this was a more high impact card when the game was slower 15 years ago.
Yeah. Oh,
People didn't know. People didn't have, like, what do you call them? Deck building templates or whatever. Like, they just didn't know how to build decks.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's scroll down to the Dockside, Jeweled Lotus, and Mana Crypt portion. In summary, the overwhelming majority of the commander panel did not want to do anything with any of these cards at this time. Those are 3 cards that were on the last ban, which was also the ban that happened right before Wizards took control of the format. So they don't want to do anything with those at this time, but I will be transparent and say that I believe if any of these are ever to return, the most likely one is Jeweled Lotus due to its one-shot nature, iconic feel, and the ability to help support high mana value commanders. I want to be clear, this is not me saying this will ever happen, but that was the one among the panel with the most traction. So maybe one day we see Jeweled Lotus again. Dockside and Mana. I keep forgetting what one was there. Mana Crypt. They might not come back. But
Mana.
Jeweled Lotus might not come back either.
It might not, but that's why I'm keeping my Jeweled Lotuses in good condition still, because I think it's really not that out of the question.
Yeah. And then if you read the article, which we will link in the show notes below, they go on to explain like the entire ban list and what they think of every single card on the ban list, if it's ever coming off, or maybe they don't ever give any definitives like it's coming off, but like if they have eyes on it coming off or anything. Like they say Nadu, unlikely to return. No surprise there. They say for Paradox Engine, if brackets are strongly and widely adopted, we could talk about it as a potential game changer. Oh, I don't think we mentioned that. I think it says it in the article. All 5 of these cards that came off the ban list go straight to the game changer list. So before this, there was 40 game changers, and then just with these cards, there's 5 more. Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to talk about for the banned and restricted part of this. So let's move on to the Commander Brackets beta update. So 2 cards came off of the Game Changer list. A lot of people are adopting Game Changers in different ways. In our play group, you and me, Levi, we're discussing having a majority of our decks maybe abandon Game Changers for a while. Not all of them, but maybe a lot of our decks to see how it works. I might feel a little differently about that after this because we're adding 18 more Game Changers to the Game Changer list.
Yeah, it's a lot more
with
than
the 2 coming off and the
thought.
5 adding. That's 61 cards on the Game Changer list versus 40, which were on there yesterday. So 21 more. The 2 that were being taken off is Trouble in Pairs, which is a white's best card draw spell, guaranteed. 2 white enchantment. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. I always forget that part.
Yeah, I've seen it even happen. I've literally even seen that happen.
That's crazy.
Once.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
And then whenever an opponent... Yeah, you're probably never going to forget that. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card. So, yeah, you're going to be drawing cards a lot, but... Sorry.
you have run this card the most out of all of us.
I only have it in one deck, but it does pop up.
But it does pop up. And I mean, that's the thing. I see it for what it is. It is quite powerful. And maybe
every time
that's
it resolves,
because
it's good.
It honestly does. And I've seen you get quite a few cards off of it. So, maybe I can't really think of a time where you didn't, but there might have been times when it wasn't really doing much for you. But I feel like more times than not, it was.
Yeah, if it wasn't ever doing anything for me, it was because someone else was about to win. But that had nothing to do with Trouble in Pairs.
Yeah, I think it's powerful. I honestly think that, who knows, maybe it could come back to being a game changer.
It says that on here, actually. I don't know if you read the thing.
Oh, I still haven't.
It says, while it can draw a lot of cards, it's on par with some cards that are not on the list. The general feeling is that it is just slightly under the bar for game changers, and that we probably jumped the starting line a little on this one. It's plausible it could get added back in the future as the list evolves and we receive more feedback. So you're pretty aligned with what Mr. Gavin Verhey and the Commander panel have. So maybe they invite you to the Commander panel one day. That'd be sick, dude.
Maybe I should be on there. Yeah, I'm with them.
Yeah, one day. You can reach us wherever, Gavin. We can talk about it.
Wherever.
Yeah, it's a great card. I kind of agree. I think that honestly, the first time I read the card when Karlov Manor spoilers were coming out, I thought it was a little underwhelming. Even it's very good. Like once I started playing with it, it's very good. The first time I resolved it, I was like, I was wrong. But
I think I was with you there too.
I don't think it's game changer level, so I think it's fine coming off the game changer list. The next one is Trinisphere. For 3 mana artifact, as long as Trinisphere is untapped, each spell that would cost less than 3 mana to cast costs 3 mana to cast.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
I've only seen this in a deck that like wants to stacks out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I barely see this.
Yeah. I don't know. It does feel kind of weird that it's not a game changer.
Because
Like
it definitely it literally changes the game for everybody. It literally does.
Yeah, but it also makes Magic kind of more fair. Like, because if you're trying to cast your Fierce Guardianship or your Deflecting Swat or anything that you got cheaper from your medallions, like it just
forces you
it
to
makes
pay.
Magic a little more fair. But then it doesn't do anything to my Chaos Warp or my Beast Within or my Generous Gift. I can just blow this up.
Yeah.
And it didn't even cost me anything extra to do it. So, in some ways it's fine, in some ways it's not.
I personally
if your deck is trying to lock... You hate it?
No, I don't really hate it.
Oh.
Honestly.
Oh.
And there's
fine.
like lots of ward now. There's like lots of ward now, so a lot of your 1-mana spells that everybody loves so much is costing 2 more, 3 more sometimes anyway. So get used to it.
It would still cost more with the ward because ward isn't part of the cast.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like what I'm saying is like if you had this and ward out, that would suck a lot.
Yeah, mass ward.
But just get used to it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying is this is like mass ward.
Yeah. It says if you want to play a single fair Trinisphere, it may be a little frustrating, but ultimately reasonable. Yeah, it's fair. I think it's a fair adjustment. So, in this article, they have the list of 18 new game changers right there. Instead of like reading them all on the list right there, let's just scroll down and talk about them one by one. The first one,
Teferi's Protection.
I'm surprised this wasn't on there to start because this was actually one of the glaring omissions, I would say, from the original list.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you got a deck with white, you usually got this in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good, man. Like, you pretty much are safe from anything. I think I've only seen somebody lose once while under Teferi's Protection. That's because they got milled out.
Yeah, you can get milled or like what's that red card you play? Insult to Injury. That gets around this, right? Damage can't be prevented. We should probably read the card.
Yeah, at least commander damage. Because your life total still can't change. Teferi's Protection will still
that's right.
Do that.
So take the
commander damage. If you can hit them with commander damage, you'll get that commander damage.
Yep. 3 mana, white sorcery instant. White sorcery instant. Until your next turn, your life total can't change, and you gain protection from everything. All permanents you control phase out. Exile Teferi's Protection. The best board
protection
ever. Mass board protection spell because it's all your permanents. It's you. It's everything. It's just very good.
All at a really good price. All at a really good mana price.
So then...
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard you say like something like you stub your toe.
No. Humility. 2 white. Each creature loses all abilities and is a 1/1 creature. I don't think we need to talk about why this card sucks. Like, it's good. It's very good. But like, I don't want to see that. That's way worse than Trinisphere.
Yeah, people dislike this card a lot. I do. It's really annoying.
Even a fair humility tossed onto the board will usually make games massively frustrating to play. Yeah. If all my creatures don't do anything, that sucks, especially because...
Way worse than a board wipe.
98 to 99% of commander decks care about your commander being a creature. Like, yeah, there's a couple Planeswalkers and Shorikai, but still, like, what the hell? This is bad.
Yeah. I mean, if you cast a Blasphemous Act, at least my creatures are in the graveyard. I can still access them, kind of, right? Humility is like, bruh, I can't do anything until humility is, like, gone.
Yeah. Not a fan.
Not a fan. Orcish Bowmasters, wow. Sorry.
Yeah. The 3 of these are... Have you seen the whole list?
No. Live reaction.
Narset, Parter of Veils, Orcish Bowmasters, and Notion Thief. I like that they put all three in the same category real quick and gave the same reasoning. While punishing additional card draw is a reasonable thing to have in a game of Commander, these are particularly aggravating to encounter. At best, these are frustrating to play against. At worst, they combo with wheels and do some nefarious things. No notes. Perfect. I agree. I hate Orcish Bowmasters. Every time I've seen that card resolve, when our good friend Nick, shout out, plays it, it's really good. It's very good. Even without wheels, that card's just nuts. It starts sniping everything with a little bow and arrows, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been Narset part of Veil's wield before, and I was like, wow, this is one of the worst experiences of my life.
Your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life. And the Notion Thief, I guess, kind of basically does the same thing, sort of, except the person who would wheel would just get a lot of cards.
Yeah.
They'd get a lot of cards, wouldn't they?
A lot.
Yeah, wheels are strong.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Intuition is just a little baby version of Gifts Ungiven. Search for 3 cards, reveal them to target opponent. They choose one, puts it in your hand, and the other 2 go in your graveyard. It's like the same thing, just like a little bit worse because it's only 3 cards, but it's also 3 mana. Same thing. Same thoughts as Gifts Ungiven. I don't have any notes on that.
Yeah. It's basically does the same thing, just one less card. Consecrated Sphinx. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you draw 2 cards. This is really strong, and I like that it's a lot of mana, but I also agree, it's a good, solid game changer. Every time I see it casted, it almost always puts the person in a really, really good position.
Yeah, because, and like it says right here, when you cast them, you're going to start your next turn with at least 6 more cards. At least. And by the time you got 6 mana for this, other people are still going to draw cards.
Mm. And there's just a lot more ways to cheat creatures out now. Before this card was printed.
I mean, we don't even need to cheat creatures out at this point. 6 mana is nothing, dude.
6 mana is not even that much. Yeah.
Fanatic of Ronos and Bloom Tender and all these things that tap for so much more mana than they are to cast.
Mm-hmm.
In my Omnath deck, granted that is Omnath, like I could get like 11 mana on turn 3 or 4, no problem. Like it happens.
Real easy.
I like the note in here. Additionally, the gameplay of other players cloning it and then allowing them to each draw as many cards as the other will allow is not the best gameplay. Fits right in as a game changer.
Yeah, I literally did this last week with somebody. I literally did this. I cloned it
so often. It's probably the most cloned thing I've ever seen.
It's a great thing to clone because it just puts you in the same position as them.
Yeah, and then you make some deal, and you're like, yeah, you want to draw 40? That sounds great. Necropotence. This is one of the other 3 cards I'm surprised was not on the original list. It is black for an enchantment. Skip your draw step. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard, and then pay 1 life. Exile the top card of your library face down. Put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. Notably, we put this on our Teval the balance scale upgrade video, but this is the best draw spell ever made, right? Maybe not ever made, but it's really good.
It's one of the best.
Definitely up there, the best one in black for sure.
You can definitely get a lot of cards with this.
Of cards, yeah, that's great.
Cards, yeah. I mean, there's just so much you can do with Necropotence. Just so much. I can't even begin to describe it to you. To you in particularly. Okay, Deflecting Swat was one that I kind of was a little bit sad
This
about,
one hurt my heart the most.
It's kind of understandable because it definitely is so strong.
Yeah, it's very good. In some ways it's better than Fierce Guardianship, in other ways it's not. The one sentence, it's a 2-sentence little blurb. Strong free counter magic made the list previously, and this often does the job of free counter magic and more. It is deserving of a spot on the list.
Yeah,
short, sweet, to the point. Magic. I cannot disagree with them. It just hurts me because I love it so much.
Yeah, this is a very good card and fun, and I just love it so much.
Yeah. So they don't like tutors. Nobody likes tutors, really, I guess, unless you're playing in CDH. I play tutors specifically for lands because that's the green ramp. I'll play rampant growth or whatever. But
yeah.
like, Gamble searches for any card. Crop rotation gets any land, and Worldly Tutor gets any creature. Like those are all. They're all 1 mana also, and Gamble's a sorcery. The other 2 are instants. So these all make sense, and they fit with like Mystical Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, and Vampiric Tutor, which were put on the list originally. Not many notes to say there.
Yeah, these all can get you your win con, all at the 1 mana mark. I guess Gamble's a sorcery, but like the other ones are at instant speed, so you can really find what you want and then win with it. Worldly Tutor will get you your Crater Hoof that you need to win with. Crop Rotation will get you your Gaia's Cradle, and Gamble can get you really anything. And it being in red sometimes doesn't even matter if it goes to your graveyard. You don't even care if it's like a good artifact you want or something. So, dude,
Seedborn Muse. I was surprised to see this one, but it makes sense. We had somebody talk about like what green card they would add to like hugely high impacted card they see a lot, and this was actually one of them. I don't know if you remember that. Anyways, untap all permanents you control during each other player's untap step. This card causes you to take what is essentially, when built properly, 3 additional turns worth of effects each turn cycle. It also causes one player to take a disproportionate amount of time in the game.
Oh, time, huh? I didn't think about that a whole lot, but it's
I
definitely true.
But I mean, it is true. But like, I just
in our pods, I don't think we take up like
consuming.
In our pods, I don't think we take up a whole lot of time personally with Seedborn Muse effects.
It's a great card, and I think it actually does make sense. If you would have asked me to like. You had me sit there for an hour and just make up my own additional Game Changer cards, I probably wouldn't have came to this because it's innocuous, but this card wins games. It's a lesser version of the banned card, Prophet of Kruphix, and that just shows that just because this is a worse version of that doesn't mean it's bad. It's still awesome.
It's so good.
It's very good.
Natural Order.
I've never seen this art. It's kind of gross. I like the one with the cheetah on it, the leopard or whatever.
Dude, this reminds me of the Green Giant from the Green Giant packs of frozen vegetables. Natural Order, 2 green sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a green creature. Search your library for a green creature card. Put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, yeah, wait. Our boy plays this card. The art threw me off. This is really strong. This gets Crater Hoof. This gets
gets any creature straight on the battlefield. It doesn't even care if it's a non-token green creature. It just wants a green creature.
It doesn't care. 4 mana to get your Crater Hoof out is nasty. That's so good. That's better than Worldly Tutor.
Yeah, it is.
That's way better. This is like such a good card.
Yeah,
and I've never played it before in my life.
List. It's good. I used to have it in one of my first EDH decks.
I don't even know why I don't play.
I don't even know I was searching for it. I was not a good player back then.
Yeah.
2 and a green for Food Chain. That's the next one.
2 and a green for Food Chain.
It's an enchantment. Exile a creature you control to add X mana of any one color, where X is the 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. People tend to not play fairly with Food Chain. It mostly fuels infinite combos, and while those are kept out of the first 2 brackets, it still feels worth calling out and limiting as a Game Changer slot for bracket 3. Yep, makes sense. I've never seen a fair Food Chain.
If Food Chain's in your deck, then you're using it for your combo most of the time. Like this is just too combo-y. Yeah, it's a combo piece. If I see this, I want to blow it up. That's it. It's that good. Aura Shards. 1 green white enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may destroy target artifact or enchantment. Hey, artifact and enchantment hate, it makes sense, and this often also, it being Selesnya and it being repeatable, whenever I see this in somebody's deck also, it often is pretty strong and does a lot of work, and basically means nobody gets to have artifacts and enchantments.
Yeah,
So
like you don't even
that's
want
a
to
game
play
changer.
them into this.
That's a game changer for sure.
Very good card. Like hyper mana efficient. Makes sense why it's on here. Field of the Dead. Land. It's a land. Enters tap to add colorless whenever it or another land enters under your control. If you control 7 or more lands with different names, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. The issue is that this is on a land. We have the Necrobloom now. That's a 4 mana creature that can be removed quite easily, this and that. But this is on a land, and that's the problem. If you build your deck the right way, you don't have any duplicate lands in there when you have this in the deck, so you're always making the 2/2s whenever you...
It's really, really like insanely good. Being able to make tokens on a land this easily is pretty powerful, because like, I don't know, most other lands that like have utility for them are usually like extremely overcosted because they're on a land. It's your land slot that's going to be overcosted to make a token, but Field of the Dead is just it makes it easy.
Yeah.
There's so many different lands.
I've never seen this card.
Mishra's Workshop. Oh, I've seen this. Tap to add 3 colorless mana to your mana pool. This mana may only be used to cast artifacts. I believe... Is this a list card? I think this is a list card. I could be wrong.
You mean the reserve list?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I think this is. I mean, that's really, really powerful. That's like insanely powerful.
Yeah, probably.
It's for the early game anyway, right? Like, you could play this, and you could play a Soul Ring and an Arcane Signet at the same time.
And then still have 3 mana left
and then
over.
still have 3 mana, and then you can spend that 3 mana on a what's the Metalworker? On a Metalworker.
Gross. And then not have any cards left in your hand to do anything with.
Yeah, then not have any artifacts in your hand.
No. It's a great card. I mean, it makes sense. I don't think that any lands should make more than 1 mana without like some stipulations. And I know this is only for artifacts, but like it's still 3 mana. If you put it in your colorless artifact deck or any deck that doesn't care about colored mana, it's hyper efficient. You don't pay life or anything.
I like the speed mechanic quite a bit introduced recently. There's that one land that gives, it taps for 1 colorless, and then it taps for 2 colorless at max speed. I think that's
it's
great.
The better version of Temple of the False God. I don't even know what that card... What is that? Miranda Wasteway?
Miranda? Yeah, something like that.
Miranda? Okay, let's go down to cards that were not changed. Farewell. I wish this was on there. I've never had less fun playing Commander than when Farewell resolves. Incredibly powerful and catch-all board wipe. It can be frustrating to have the game reset in this fashion. However, as a 6 mana reset button, it does also help curb people getting out of hand just the same. We have our eye on it, but we do not place it as a game changer currently. It's 6 mana white sorcery. You can choose any or all of these. Exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and graveyards. So it hits everything. It kind of sucks and it's awful. I'm sure I've told you this story like 12 times, but when I had Osgear and somebody said artifacts, creatures, and graveyards, I lost. That was
There's
it.
nothing you can do. I
had nothing
at that
left.
Point.
I was done. Alms Collector. This is actually a cool card. I like this. It's 3 and a white for a cat cleric with flash, and it says that if opponent would draw 2 or more cards, instead you and that player each draw a card. They wanted to bring this up because of the cards that did make the list. We elected to not hit this card along with Notion Thief, Narset, and Bowmasters because it only punishes drawing more than 1 card and not additional draws, and still refunds a single draw on them, on top of being in the color identity that does not tend to naturally pair with these effects. Have you seen this card? I like it. It's a cool card.
I have. I don't see it often.
I haven't seen it since
because
like 2018 or whenever it was printed in the
yeah,
Arabo Precon.
because I mean, like, let's be our lists are quite tight typically when we're making decks, and unless the deck cares about something like this, you're not gonna be running Alms Collector much. Like, I would run this in a more Staxy deck that would care more about this. But if I'm like playing Osgear, I wouldn't run this in Osgear, you know? Me, personally. Anyway, maybe you would, but.
No. Mana Drain. Counterspell, any spell, target spell. It's a blue instant. At the beginning of your next main phase, add an amount of colorless mana equal to that spell's mana value.
So
it's pretty good. I'm surprised it's not on the ban list. But reading this blurb, I don't think that they care that it's not a game changer. I said ban list, I meant game changer. While both of those things are powerful, a one-time surge of mana can be fun and is unlikely to warp the game when it happens later in the game. Sure. I don't want it on the game changer list because I love this card. And I'm trying to not play game changers kind of right now, but oh well.
Yeah, this is another one where it's like early on, it can be pretty powerful depending. But also, like, late game, it can also be pretty powerful. I think just like any other counter spell, you gotta, like, really hold on to them and counter the right thing. And sometimes with Mana Drain, you're gonna be countering something that's only 1 or 2 mana, but that's the right thing to counter. And you're not gonna get much of an effect from it.
Sometimes I like, it'll be the second player's turn, like, right after my turn, and I'll just counter something that's, like, 3 mana. Like,
just to get some extra mana.
Yeah, so I can start my next turn with like 8 mana or something, and that feels like way better than starting with 5 mana. Like, yeah, maybe someone plays something bigger, but like, maybe it's not always the right call. But sometimes I'll do it. Sometimes I do things that aren't the best for me.
Mana Drain kind of incites players to almost like do it too early, to like use it on something that's not worth it. And I think that's interesting gameplay. Because had they, you never know. Had they held on to it, maybe it would have saved their game or whatever, But instead they counter my metal worker. That's 3 mana.
Mystic Remora is a blue mana for an enchantment. It says whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 4, and it has cumulative upkeep 1. This card is still on their radar, but they did not add it at this time. I wouldn't be surprised if they added it. It's pretty good. It's better in higher power meta, so when everyone's playing crazy non-creature spells all the time.
Yeah. It's good on like turn 2 or 3. Turn 1, it's honestly not that great to play.
Yeah.
Turn 2 or 3, in my experience, it's been like that's the sweet spot. But Mystic Remora will always get you a lot of cards for 1 mana. It's just that good.
Even if it just draws you 1, that's good.
That's pretty good value already.
Like 2, you're off to the races.
No one's
1
paying
mana
the
draw
4.
2, anybody would. That's great.
No one's paying the 4. Force of Will, 3 blue. You're never gonna play that. You may pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand rather than pay that spell's mana cost. Counter target spell. Even without reading this thing, it's 2 cards for 1. I don't personally hate this. Better. You're still paying a cost.
Yep. We elected to leave it on the game changer list for now. This is one they're talking about maybe taking off. This one's on it right now.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. This is way better in CEDH and like 1v1 formats.
Yeah.
So, like, nobody's saying it's bad, though. It's still a great card, but is it game changer worthy? Probably not.
I don't think so. Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, they're both wheels.
I've seen Wheel of Fortune plenty of times, but I don't think I've ever...
It's the same thing.
It's just the same. Okay. The blue. Yeah. I mean, wheels are wheels. They're going to be in the decks that care about wheels usually. Maybe Maybe some mono red decks will have Wheel of Fortune just because, but because it's good card draw.
Yeah. Grave Pact.
Game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move on because I don't even know why we're discussing those cards. Like they're good, but like I would never consider them game changers.
I wouldn't either.
I guess Wizards does. Don't add me to the commander panel, then I don't know. Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos, they both say whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. Dictate of Erebos has flash. I've never seen these cards played fair, and they make everybody angry. These are like I think people are overreacting when they say like these like some cards make it so like your friends don't want to be your friends, but these are kind of those cards.
These are kind of those cards.
Yeah, in moderation they're fine, but they're never played in moderation.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't think Braids should be a game changer. The new unban, and then not have Grave Pact on there because Grave Pact it's one more black pip, but it is far more impactful for the same total mana value.
Yeah, it really is.
Necrodominance is like a baby version of Necropotence, and that's all you need to know because they put Necropotence on the list. They discussed it as well, and we decided it does not reach the same bar as Necropotence does.
Yeah.
Look at this elephant, man.
Craterhoof Behemoth is a card I am an enjoyer of and play quite often. For 5 green. It has haste, and then it gives everything trample and +X. Where X is the number of creatures you control. Listen, this card is just an 8 mana win the game also.
Yeah, you need a board state.
You need a board state, just like Coalition of Victory kind of sort of does.
This is way better than Coalition Victory.
Way better.
Like way better.
This
for
is
the same
way
mana
better.
value.
Yeah.
For an 8 mana green creature, it is acceptable to end the game this way while cheating it out early by the way of something like Natural Order. That's like pre-spoilers. We already talked about that. Is a problem. A long game Craterhoof is something we believe is acceptable, and I agree because the game's got to end. I don't want my game to be like 2 hours long. That's silly.
Yeah, and this gets to a point where I think like there's a decent amount of ways to win in green. Don't get me wrong, but like this is a very common way, and I've even talked to people that specifically don't play Craterhoof because they just want to win a different way. They just see it and go, I'll just play it. I'll just win a different way. So it's not like you have to run this in a go wide strat. It's just
and there's smaller versions.
It's good. It's just so
Overwhelming
good.
Stampede and whatever that thing with the tigers on it's called.
This ends the game. Oh yeah, the one with the tiger on it. The
you know what I'm talking about? The enchantment with the tigers, and you
Yeah.
have 7 tapped creatures. It gets 7 counters, and you get +5. I know everything about the card except for what it's called, but yeah, like there's baby versions of Craterhoof. I think people are just a little sick of seeing it because it has been like the de facto green win con ever since it's been printed, which I don't remember when this was printed. It was like before I was born, probably. Who knows? The Great Henge, one of the best card draw spells of all time in green, in my opinion. Who knows? What do I know? 7 green for a legendary artifact. Costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It has tap to add green and gain 2 life whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control. Put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card. I wanted to rush through that because there's some text on that card. I think it is good like Guardian Project, and it's good like Beast Whisperer. It's better than both of those cards, but I don't think it deserves to be on the game changer list. I think that they thought about it though, because they said we elected to not touch it at this time and welcome your feedback. So it sounds like they were really considering it if we elected to not touch it.
Yeah, nah. It's strong, but I've never, I don't know, I don't get scared or anything when somebody plays a Great Henge. I go, okay, well, I mean, they're gonna be pulling ahead. Maybe it's powerful, but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's not like crazy. Yeah. Not so like when I see. Order. Yeah, it's not like Natural Order. Yeah.
So they hit Natural Order, and so they're talking about.
Oh, Yeah.
Green Sun Zenith, Court of Calling, and Finale of Devastation, which are all tutors that tutor directly onto the battlefield, but they're nowhere near as mana efficient as natural orders, so they're not going to touch those. Tooth and Nail, again, same thing, but it's 9 mana for that entwine cost. Tutors 2 creatures from your hand onto the battlefield, but you can also search for them with the first part of the entwine cost. 9 mana, though. Stays off. Defense of the Heart stays off again. Soul Ring. Nothing's changing to that ever. There's been some discourse around whether Soul Ring should be a game changer and if all decks should be allowed one game changer. I think that's silly. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. That's just silly because if like you're allowed one game changer and you put Soul Ring on the game changer list, most players will elect to put Soul Ring as their game changer. So just leave it as a non-game changer. It's fine. If somebody gets a hot start with Soul Ring, like they usually get put down by the rest of the table, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Super hyper efficient card. One of the best mana rocks ever printed. I'm not trying to discount it at all, but like it's so ubiquitous at this point. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
It's fine.
If you don't want to play it, just
don't play it. I don't play it in some of my decks.
Yeah. So now the game changer list is at 61, and I don't even know what the ban list is at. I don't care. Let's take some more things off the ban list. I want to see some Emrakul, the Aeons torn at the table. Just hoping to see that. So I want to shout out our patrons, Richard Dilks, King Dom, and Eduardo Soler. If you guys want to become a patron, check out our Patreon link below. And, give us some of your hard-earned money so that we can give you guys better content. I need a better mic arm, and my computer's going to explode any day now. It's yelling at me about a graphics card.
It will. Well, those are our thoughts. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what you guys think. Like, is there any card? What if you could ban one card, Levi? What would you ban?
I don't know. That's for a different video.
Cool. I'd ban Gaia's Cradle. I kind of hate it.
Oh, I hate that card.
Yeah, I'd ban Gaia's Cradle. And honestly, I don't think there's anything else I would put on the Game Changers list at this moment. Like 100%. Besides the ones that they talked about. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, especially if you stuck around this long. Bye.
Bye.